Hey, greetings, mathematicians. Happy Monday. So, what we're going to do today is I'm just going to do a review over box and whisker plots. So, we're going to talk about the whole process on creating one. Okay, so what I started us off with is our data set. All right, and so what's the very first thing we need to do with our numbers? If you said put them in order from least to greatest, ding, 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 you are correct. Okay, so that's the first thing that I am going to do is just go ahead and put my numbers in order from least to greatest. All right, so 1, and remember I like to mark off as I go to make sure that I get every number in my data set. Because sometimes when you have a really long data set, we can sometimes forget, oops, almost dropped the board. We can sometimes forget a number, which throws everything off. Oops, sorry kiddos. You know we're not at school right now, so I'm having to, Miss Garcia having to make it do what it do. Okay, so when we're making our box and whisker plot, remember we talked about how we don't just go ahead and draw a number line and start creating a box and whisker plot with these numbers. All right, remember with our box and whisker plot, we have to have 5 numbers on that box and whisker plot, and those numbers are called our 5-number summary. So we have our 5-number summary. Remember, we have our median, Q1, which is our lower quartile, Q3, which is our upper quartile, LE, which is our lower extreme, and then UE, which is our upper extreme. Okay, those are going to be the 5 numbers that we graph on our box and whisker plot. So back to our data set. So remember, we have to put our data set in order from least to greatest because we have to find our median. So if our numbers aren't in order, we won't find the median correctly. But we have our numbers in order from least to greatest. And so the first number in our 5-number summary that we're going to find is our median. So remember, we kind of do this here in class where we work our way into the center. So 6 is the number that's in the middle. So that's going to be my median. And I'll go ahead and write over there. So we'll find our 5-number summary, and then I'll show us our 5-number summary over here. All right. So remember what our median does. Our median splits our data in half into 2 parts. So we have a lower part, and then we have our upper part. So we go from having 1 data set to having 2 smaller data sets. And so we have our median. So the next number in our 5-number summary we want to find is our Q1, or our lower extreme. So we look at the lower data set that we have here. We have 1, 3, 5, and we're just going to find a number in the middle. Remember, with our box and whisker plot, we're pretty much finding the median 3 times. So the median of the lower half here, which would be our Q1, is 3. All right, so 3 is my Q1. So we look at the upper half here, which is going to give me my upper quartile. So the number in the middle there is 10. So 10 is going to be my upper quartile. And then the lower extreme is just the smallest number in the data set, which is 1. And then my upper extreme is going to be the largest number in my data set, which is 13. So now I have my 5-number summary. I have my 6 as my median. My Q1 is 3. Q3 is 10. My lower extreme is 1. And my upper extreme is 13. So now that I have those 5 magic numbers, remember now I can go ahead and create my box and whisker plot. So I'll go ahead and make my number line here. And remember, we talked about how to number our number line. It just depends on how many numbers you have in your data set. So with this here, I have my lowest number is 1, my highest number is 13. So that's not too many numbers. So I will go ahead and just number it 1 through 13. But of course, you know, sometimes when you have a larger data set, you may want to skip count. You may want to count by 2s. You may want to count by 5s. It's totally up to you, but you want to make sure when you're counting evenly. All right, that your intervals are even. So I'm just going to count from 1 to 13. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I kind of drew that other side a little too big, but I squeeze it in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and just plot my 5 numbers in my 5-number summary. So my median was 6, so I put a dot there. Remember, you're not putting it on the number line, but just slightly above it. Q1 was 3. My lower extreme was 1. My upper extreme was 13. And my upper quartile was 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. Remember, you only can have 5 numbers in your box and whisker plot. So it doesn't matter how long your data set is, you're always just going to have those 5-number summary. You can have 40 numbers in your data set. Your box and whisker plot is still only going to have 5 numbers. Okay, so now to create the whole box and whisker piece. Remember I called the box the quartile box? Because that reminds me that my box is made up of my quartiles. So my lower quartile is 3. So I can go ahead and I'm going to use that to make one side of my box. My upper quartile is 10, so I'll draw a line there. And then I'm going to create my box. And then my median is in the middle. Remember, the median is always inside the box, and the median always has like a line through it, okay? And then I can create my whiskers. So we have my box and my whiskers, and voila, we're done. That's all you need to do, okay, to create your box and whisker plot.